While the original Splatoon had a worthwhile story mode, Splatoon 2's was just a crappy copy and paste, with the Octo expansion being almost near perfection. So let's not repeat past mistakes and craft the perfect story mode for Splatoon 3. The hub world idea needs to be expanded upon and reworked almost completely. Look, finding the levels in the tea kettles is kinda cool, kinda cute, whatever, but it needs to go because honestly, most players would much rather have all the kettles viewable, so if they wanted to jump from level to level when first playing, they can. Because in the original game, finding the kettles wasn't that bad, but Splatoon 2 told everyone to go fuck themselves because this area sucks. In fact, all of these areas suck. Alterna needs to be one big area that expands with the more levels completed. So let's say you start, get greeted by Captain 3, Callie, and Marie, and are presented with an area that acts as a tutorial. It teaches how to aim, throw bombs, switch weapons, and how the squid roll and surge works. And while it's not extensive, it serves the purpose of tutorial so that the story mode doesn't act as yet another tutorial. In fact, a perfect example of this is Kirby in the Forgotten Land, where the first level is a tutorial, but if you ever need to, you can go back and replay that tutorial so you can get a sense of what you're doing again, which is the approach that Splatoon 3 needs to make instead of making the story mode a tutorial. Once players are past this small area, they then get greeted by the meat and potatoes being the hub world, and this isn't just where the levels lay dormant anymore, it's home to everything you'll need on this grand journey. Sheldon would have a shop for buying and upgrading weapons, Callie would have unlockables to use in levels, and Marie would be there to exchange collectibles for exclusive hero mode gear, weapon skins, hairstyles, tickets for Krusty Sean's food truck, and anything else that the game may want for players to use in multiplayer. Each area of Alterna has two types of levels, main stages and mission stages. The main stages are required for story progression, while the mission stages are there to test skills and unlock items. It's like how on the Octo expansion, you didn't need to beat every level to progress, but they were there for those who wanted the extra challenge and additional rewards. Here, it's much more apparent what is required and what isn't, with the primary levels being in silver kettles and the mission ones in bronze kettles. Levels can be played on with every base weapon type like the roller, dualies, and shooter, but other variants of weapons will have to be unlocked. This also goes for subs, as all subs will be available in story mode, but players only start with the Splat Bomb and will have to unlock and buy the rest from Sheldon, with him also providing the players a means to upgrade all gear and weapons for their journey. This means increased range, fire rate, less ink consumption, bigger radius, the list goes on. Upgrades in Splatoon 2 were one of the dumbest things about its story mode, as giving multiplayer weapons upgrades to make them broken in a shitty glorified tutorial doesn't exactly make sense. Regardless, you're still able to upgrade said weapons to where they act nothing like their multiplayer counterparts, meaning if you trained here, it would hurt more than it would benefit you because of how overpowered the weapons can get. Meaning it wouldn't make sense to make this story mode another tutorial provided that there are weapon upgrades. Now I'm emphasizing Splatoon 3's story mode not to be a tutorial mode for a good reason, because Splatoon has a lot of lore tied to the characters, yet it's not explored as extensively as it could be. The Octo expansion gave a great taste as to what a fully fleshed out story mode can do with the series, and putting this combination of storytelling in with the gameplay of Splatoon with Mario Galaxy styled levels and Sonic 3 and Knuckles style of exploration would do absolute wonders to the story mode. Now let's get into the design of the levels, starting with how the games have handled secrets. Traveling from area to area while finding secrets such as sunken scrolls and being rewarded for going off the beaten path is there, as there are glimpses of it, but neither the base story mode in either game nor the Octo expansion do it very well. While the levels have some small areas that are barely hidden most of the time, it would do wonders to create layered levels, much how like I said to make layered stages in this video from the core design philosophy showcased in Sonic 3. This would make the collectibles much more satisfying to find, as you'd actively have to go and search on your own and go off the beaten pathway. Stages also need to have way more rewards, such as armor, weapon boosts, specials, and power eggs, which all would be scattered throughout the level and not just thrown in boxes right in front of you. And they need to not be gimmicky either, because 9 times out of 10 when the game gives you a special, it's because you're expected to use it at exactly the next part in the stage. Instead, make specials rewards for doing good and finding them in hard to reach areas or hidden areas. Giving them to players to clear out a section of a level just makes the game infinitely easier and kind of hand-holdy. The characters need to be interactive because holy shit, in both games, Cuttlefish, Callie, and Marie talk throughout almost every level, and I have no idea what any of the dialogue is. This aspect can stay, but add cutscenes between most levels, ones that transition what happens between each area you go to, and just ones that showcase more story and lore. The Octo expansion did it pretty well, but there's still room to improve. Speaking of characters, not only will Captain 3 be there, but also Agent 4 and 8, each serving a different role. 4 would be there helping Sheldon as a little setup in Alterna, and she would also appear in the shop in Splatsville as she works for Sheldon full time. 8, however, stays in Alterna and provides missions for new Agent 3 to complete, some even against 8 themselves, which would grant the player small rewards and such. Now, all the ideas I just mentioned are definitely aspects I want to see and feel like should be added to Splatoon 3's single player mode, but this next idea will blow your mind. Different playable characters. While your base character can use all the main weapon types, the following 3 characters all have unique playstyles on their own. First off, we have Agent 4 who uses ink gauntlets. Next up is Agent 8 who uses an ink sword, and lastly is DJ Octavio who the player can control in his massive mech. Agent 4 and 8 wield all new weapon types which play nothing like previous weapons. For story reasons, these are new weapons Sheldon has been testing out. 4 and 8 use these weapons exclusively, and they even have a few exclusive levels along with new Agent 3 and Octavio. They also play quite differently from new Agent 3, with Agent 8 being faster on the ground and in ink, but unable to take as much damage. Agent 4 on the other hand can take much more damage than neither 3 or 4, but they're significantly slower. Every main level can be played with any character minus Octavio. He only has a few exclusive levels, and they're more towards the end of the game. This is because of his mech, which can dish out all sorts of ink in different ways, such as missiles, shooters, rocket hands, bombs, and any new improvements he may have added since Splat 2. The other agents can also play on his levels once the player beats the main story, but the levels are significantly more challenging due to not having the mech to dish out severe damage. The reason that DJ Octavio is even helping out the new Squidbeak Splatoon is due to Mr. Grizz controlling almost his entire army with the fuzzy ink, and together we have to team up to defeat Mr. Grizz and take back the mini Zapfish and stop whatever Mr. Grizz is up to. Splatoon 3 has been in the oven for almost 5 years, and if this story mode is another glorified tutorial, fans are not going to be happy. Don't forget to subscribe. We just hit 200 subscribers, which is actually insane for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you guys on the flip side.